enjoyed it. It's disappointing that I didn't go further in the game, but it's it's a once in a lifetime experience that I got to do twice. So I feel pretty lucky about that, and it was great that I got to do it with Vitas, and we got to have Vitas and I were allowed to share experiences that we'll have the rest of our lives, and hopefully it brings us closer together. I learned lots of lessons. I think perhaps my biggest lesson was um, letting losing be okay. The first time I won, so it was really easy to win. You don't walk away with any regrets, and I think the the hardest thing about losing is that it's so easy to be chock full of regret. And the lesson for me is not walking away with regret, like being okay with what happened, and letting my exit be exactly what was supposed to happen, and not trying to determine what's best for me, but rather be more of a witness and put one foot in front of the other, and as the chips fall, see if you can find the bright side in each step. I think it was smart for some people to vote me out when they did. I think it was smart for Tyson. I think it was smart for Caleb and Hayden. I think Laura Moret and Sierra, that was their only play. I don't think it was smart for Jervis. I think that even if Jervis gets to the end of the game, he'll find himself being either second or third place. And I think he had probably a better chance at winning had he come with me, and he probably would have the same chance of getting to the end as he does now with Tyson. Most of the people involved in my blindside made a smart move for themselves, and it was Tyson that engineered the whole thing. And Tyson and I think we're the two biggest threats to win the game, in terms of like our experience playing the game and our ability to work with people. And we had really divergent strategies. Me seeing that Tyson was perhaps the biggest threat to win the game besides myself, I thought, well, let's work together, and that way we assure ourselves a spot, at least in the final four, if not the final three. And Tyson probably looked at it and said, why work together? If I knock him out, there's a clear path to the end. And Tyson, he got me, and bravo, good play. Looking back on the mistakes I made in the game, I look at the mistake I made as something that happened really early with Jervis. And I built this big strategic house of cards that had no validity because it was based on a false assumption. And the assumption was that Jervis had my back. I always had Jervis's back. And I'm not sure exactly why Jervis turned. That's something that I'll be curious to find out. But that was the crux of my mistake, was that somebody in my core alliance didn't have my best interest at heart. I mean, that's the game. You have to trust somebody, and I decided to trust Jervis, and unfortunately that was a really, really bad decision. Now I think Vitas and I's relationship is strengthened by being out here together. Our relationship is continually evolving given our history and the fjords that we have to kind of cross to find a mutual ground. And this is just another experience that we get to share and hopefully build on. And the thing about brothers is that we'll always be brothers, unlike loved ones or, husband and wife and girlfriend, boyfriends who play this game. Vitas and I don't have a choice. We're the only brothers we'll ever have. And so hopefully this experience will help strengthen our relationship for, decades to come. If you'd have asked me on day 24, before I walked into Redemption Arena and was eliminated from the game, if I'd do it again, I'd probably tell you no way. And then the moment my game ended and my buff was burned in the urn, I said right away I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's hard to say no to this. It's such an exciting adventure, and the possibility to win $1 million. I can't think of any other place in life where, by playing a game for 39 days, I have the chance to win $1 million. And Vitas and I were in the final 11, which meant we really had a 1 in 5 chance, close to a 1 in 5 chance of taking home the prize as a family. So yeah, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I think Vitas is doing really well on Redemption Island. I know he's enjoying the solitude. Vitas is much more of a recluse than I am. So him and Tina spending time together, just the two of them, I think is really good for him. And I think he has a good chance in the next duel. Vitas is a really smart guy, so there's been a lot of puzzles. I don't see how there could be a puzzle that he wouldn't be able to win. So I imagine that Vitas will do really well in the duel. I think he has a good chance of getting all the way out of Redemption Island, and hopefully this is his time to shine, and he wins the $1 million this time. And I don't think I could be more happy than if Vitas were to win. You know, if all of this happened so that if my blindside and then Vitas' subsequent ouster in the game happened so that Vitas could make a run through Redemption Island, win jury votes by being on Redemption Island, and then eventually get out and win the game, then it's a perfect ending, you know, and both of us get to have the experience of winning a season of Survivor. So I got my fingers crossed for him. I'm really hopeful, and either way, I think that he's really enjoying himself, and I think that's what matters most. It was a great season. You know, I had a big target on my back from the start. I swung for the fences knowing that I was going to be a big target, and I missed miserably. But, you know, you miss every shot you don't take, and so at least I took one. And I had a great time doing it. I'd look forward to being invited back.